Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with another knitting podcast episode. Today I have quite a few finished objects, quite a few works in progress as well. As usual, it has been quite a while, a bit longer than I intended it to be. But oh well, I'm here now, so you better enjoy it, or at least I hope you will enjoy it. If you're new here on my channel, my name is Famke. I'm also a knitwear designer. I live in Amsterdam. You can also find me on Instagram at Mipi the label. For now, that's all, and let's get started with the video. Firstly, I do have 4 finished objects to show you in this video. The first one is something that has been a work in progress for honestly a very long time. I don't know when I started it. Oh, I do. It was a work in progress last year as well. So this was a long time in coming and I'm really glad that I finished it. The pattern is currently also in testing and it actually is released like right now. So you can get a discount for the pattern. This is the Stella Sunbag. This is a knitting and crochet pattern hybrid, which just means that it has these fun crochet granny squares that are then connected with some knitting. And then the strap is also completely crocheted. And it's a really nice and thick and sturdy strap. Like there's some stretch to it, as you can see, but not by much. And I think this was not a finished object in the last video, probably because I didn't do the strap yet. And I don't know how that's actually possible because this test haul probably was more than 7 weeks, right? Like usually I have 8 weeks, so I don't know. Has it been 8 weeks since my last podcast? I honestly don't know. But yeah, I did finish this bag. I always keep a little list with the things that I finished and that I didn't really show you yet. Maybe it was the lining then. I honestly don't know. But it does have a nice lining that is sewn into it as well with a zipper. So this is a really fun pattern if you really want to challenge yourself and do some knitting, some crochet and some sewing as well. Then this is definitely the pattern for you, and also just a knitted bag. Like how fun is that? You don't really see these very often, I think. This bag is knit with a 3.5mm needle, which is I think a US 5 or 4, but I always mix those up for some reason. And then the crochet granny squares is also a 3.5mm hook. And it is worked up with quite a tight gauge because it's a bag, so it really needs to be a little bit tighter to be nice and sturdy. So this is made with a cotton yarn held together with a hand-dyed merino yarn, which is just super fun because it uses up less than a skein of hand-dyed yarn. So if you have any of those in your stash that you would like to get rid of, then I think this is a really nice one. And some of my testers are actually using it as a project bag as well, which I just think is super fun. So yeah, if you want to grab the pattern, then it will be 20% off with the link in my description and you don't need a code. So that is really nice. And thank you if you have been here for more than a year, so you recognize this from last year. Then you're a true, like one of my best followers, I would say. Then the next finished object that I have is actually a skirt, which is really fun. It's kind of like a full circle moment because I think my first knitting pattern that I ever released was actually a skirt pattern. It was the Lana Lacey skirt, and actually someone that I follow. I'm so bad with names and that's why I can't remember right now. But I will put it on the screen for sure, because now I don't know. But she knit the most beautiful and stunning blue version that I am just absolutely obsessed with. So if you also want to knit a skirt, but you don't want to spend any money on a pattern, then you can download that pattern for free. So this is my 3rd time knitting a skirt as a design, which I'm really happy about. This is knit with a really nice cotton yarn, the Scheepje Scalista, which I shared in my last knitting video, that I actually think this is a really nice cotton yarn and probably one of my favorites. And then it is knit on a little bit of a tighter gauge again as well, just because I didn't want it to be super see-through and because it's a skirt. I am planning to make a little lining for it. I will probably make that as a tutorial, but I'm kind of procrastinating that right now. So this is knit on a 4mm or US 6 size needle. So here you can see some of that lace pattern, which is really cute. Then it also has some stitches on the side that are twisted, which I just really like as a little detail to kind of hide the increases for the hip shaping. Because as always, this is a very size inclusive pattern. So I think I graded it to have 12 sizes. And then each of those 12 sizes have 3 hip sizes as well. So there's just a lot of sizes available in this pattern to really get a fit that is custom to you and your body shape, which is always how I like to do it. And then the bottom has this really cute little ruffle, which I did actually have to knit twice because the first time the ruffle was just not ruffling enough for my liking. So I just decided to knit it again. And I also decided to size up for the ruffle. So the ruffle is actually knit on 5mm or US 8 needles, which just makes it a little bit looser and just more ruffly in my opinion. So that's a really nice thing. And I also really like this waistband. It's a little bit different from the skirts that I've previously done because it has some stockinette on the inside. some half twisted rib on the outside, but then it has these little eyelets that you can attach a ribbon through. So you can either make it decorative like mine is, or you can make it completely functional if you really want something that is going to be very adjustable, which I just think is a really fun detail as well, if I do say so myself. So this is something that I'm super happy with. This is also just really nice for summer. And I do have some people saying that they think this is really nice as well to knit in the fall, which is why I'm releasing it a little bit like too late. So it will be released like mid-August. But I think like I agree with them completely that this is still really nice to wear in the fall as well. And also a long version. Like I'm dying for someone to knit this in a midi length because I just think that would be absolutely stunning. Then the next two finished objects that I have are actually crochet. So the first one was just a little palette cleanser, as some people call it. I just wanted something quick, like a dopamine rush of a finished project basically. So I decided to follow a tutorial for a crochet bandana. I will link the tutorial that I used down below. And it was actually really nice because I learned kind of like to follow a chart for the first time, which I just thought was super fun, and to see like what those symbols actually mean, because the person doing the tutorial is not talking but just showing you the symbols along the way. So I made this little floral bandana, and it has these really cute like butterfly or floral type of stitches. Really cute, really simple. I used less than a skein of fingering weight cotton yarn, like those typical cotton yarns that you know, probably the cotton 8/4. This one in particular I think was from Scheepjes. And yeah, it's just a really nice project. If you have some leftover yarn or just an evening that you want to work on something quick, then I would really recommend this. Have not worn it yet, but I do think it's a nice accessory. Like even with my hair maybe tied back like this, I think that could work. But I'm still a little bit too uncomfortable to wear things like this, even though I think it's really cute. As you can see, sometimes I just make things for fun and not necessarily practicality. Then the next finished object that I have is a crochet top. This is the Blanche tee. Don't remember the knitwear designer, but I think it's Earth by Morg. And if I am not correct, then this will be cut out of the video. But I think that's her pattern. I made this actually really quick. I started this before I was going away on a little trip with my boyfriend. And then I finished it when we came back. So I made it over the span of like 5 days, I think. And I made it with a 4mm crochet hook and then some Penduro cotton 8/4 in this lovely butter yellow color. I have definitely been influenced, but in general I feel like I'm expanding my colors a little bit. So this is just right up my alley at this moment. And yeah, I absolutely adore this top. What spoke to me the most was these crochet buttons on the front. You can of course do your own buttons, but I just think these are so cute and special and just really give this top like, I don't know, like a different kind of look. So I have not worn this yet, but I think it's going to be really cute with like a maxi skirt or shorts, and even like with a dress that is like strappy. You could wear this on top as a cardigan, which I think is really cute. Now actually the only skirt that I currently have has a bunch of stains on it because it's white and it's one that I made last year. So that's why I also have not worn it yet, just because I don't really have any bottoms right now that I think go nicely with it. And I also don't have a lot of dresses with thin straps. So those are definitely still on my sewing wish list. But other than that, I think it's a really cute top. And of course I can also wear it with jeans. I just haven't done that yet. If I were to change anything in the future, I would definitely increase the armhole depth a little bit. I followed the pattern, which is a little bit like more made to measure, which I find a lot of crochet patterns to be. So she said to kind of use a baby tee as a reference, which is what I did. But the baby tee, well, like it's just a regular t-shirt kind of fit, but it just has a lot more stretch, of course, than a crochet garment is going to have. So this right now is just sitting in my armpit, just a little bit too much for it to be super comfortable, which of course is not really the intended fit that I was going for. But you know, it's my first, or like one of the first few garments that I've ever crocheted, so I'm still quite pleased with it. And I almost keep forgetting that I do have one more finished object, which is actually a huge finished object. I don't think anyone's expecting me to just suddenly have this completely finished, but here I am. I made this in 4 weeks, which is a little bit crazy. And some of you may already know what it is, but it's my Persian Towels blanket by Janie Crow. Yes, I made this blanket in 4 weeks. I know that's kind of crazy, and I never intended to make this so quickly, or honestly to even make this blanket. Like, it was on my radar, definitely, but it was honestly a spur of the moment thing. So I went with my boyfriend to a store. It's called the Zeeman in the Netherlands. Dutch people will know it. And I just said to him like, oh, I would like to make a blanket. I'm just gonna go and buy some acrylic yarn and it will be fun. So I just randomly chose some colors, just got one ball of each color because I was like, oh, I can always go back and get more yarn. I showed him 2 pictures of like 2 different blankets and said, which one should I make? And he chose the Persian Towels blanket. So that's what I did, and that's how it kind of happened very impulsively. Started this blanket, then I decided to just vlog the process and share it on TikTok and Instagram because I thought it would be fun. And a lot of people enjoyed it, so that's really nice, of course. So if you do want to see more about this blanket, you can head over there and kind of see the process of me making this. I did also vlog it for YouTube, but I still have not edited the footage and I don't know if it will be enough to make a full video about it. But if it's not, then I'm going to combine it with some other things and it will just be like a crafty vlog, basically. So yeah, I don't really know how to properly show you this blanket, but it's just a really gorgeous pattern. And yeah, I absolutely loved making it. And I did work on this, like I said, for 4 weeks straight. Probably maybe like 3 hours every single day. And even on the days that I worked, I also worked on this blanket, which doesn't happen very often. Usually on the days that I work in the fabric store, I come home and just absolutely fall asleep. Like I usually am pretty tired and I don't even get any knitting done. So this was just 4 weeks of really hard work. Didn't knit on anything else. So it was definitely also a big break, like knitting design wise, which was also nice actually. So I have lots of ideas now. So here you can see just a little bit more of the blanket. Lots of beautiful colors in here. I definitely not like planned this necessarily in the beginning. Like I said, these stores have a very limited range of yarn because they are not really yarn stores. They are just stores that basically sell everything. So if you do want to know more information about all of the colors that I used for this blanket, again, I'm going to link a post that I made on my Instagram with a spreadsheet that I made with the Stylecraft Special DK, which is also the yarn that is used in the original pattern. So if you want to make it as well, or just get a little bit of inspiration from my blanket, then I will reference you there because it's just too much work for me to reply to everyone and share all of the colors. I followed the pattern exactly. I definitely was off gauge, so my squares are all a little bit bigger because the yarn was thicker as well. And then I also skipped 1 row in the border, but I don't think that really matters for the final result. But here you can see a little bit of my border. This was also, I think, my first time working with a acrylic yarn and making a full project of it. I thought I was going to hate it more than I do. I'm not going to say that I absolutely love it, but I also don't hate it. And I actually think it works really nice for a blanket. Like the final result, I think is quite soft. It has a nice drape. I expect it to be more like squeaky feeling, like a superwash yarn, but it actually really isn't. So I'm quite pleased with it. And I did buy yarn for my next crochet blanket, which will be really exciting, but I'm not ready to take it on just yet. But eventually there will be another crochet blanket. Also by Janie Crow, I think. So this was one of the big works in progress that I had over the last, well, month or so. Then I do have 2 works in progress that are knitting, 2 works in progress that are crochet, and then also some sewing finished objects, which I think I'm going to save for the end because I know not everybody is into the sewing things that I share. So the first work in progress that I have is a cardigan design. This one actually doesn't have a name yet. I'm not sure what I should call it right now. The working name is Sunny because it's a very sunny color. So that's why I'm calling it the Sunny cardigan at the moment. So this is what it looks like currently. I have made quite a bit of progress. This actually has been the amount of progress over 7 days. So I think that's pretty quick. This is also worked up on 5mm needles. So that is also why I think it's going quite quickly. This was originally going to be a cardigan with some saddle shoulders. So I do actually have the little saddle shoulders already knit up. And this was always my original plan, to just have those here on the shoulder, pick up stitches and actually do like a more fitted cardigan with a contiguous shoulder construction. And for some reason it was just not working out. It's also because I don't have a lot of experience, sadly, with contiguous shoulder constructions. So I decided to just work on my favorite type of shoulder construction, which is a European drop shoulder, which is where you start casting on stitches for the back and then increase on every row, so on the right and the wrong side of your work. So you get kind of this line of increases going down, and then suddenly your back is like the right width. Then you pick up stitches for the front, and then you will join them at the underarm, and then, you know, just knit as you go. But then one thing that I like to do, which is a little bit different from how I've seen, well, anybody else do it, honestly, but that may just be me, is that I like to add a little bit of German short row shaping to the front, which I just think helps the largest sizes especially, because with this pattern, or like type of construction, we're kind of creating a really big triangle on the back. And so the bigger the size, the more this is going to be in a triangle shape. So right now you can see this is going on a diagonal. So if you have a bigger size, it's going to go down even further than this. So then basically when you pick up stitches for the front, you need to knit the front even longer to be able to get to the right lengths to start working your neck shaping. So what I do is just add a little bit of German short row shaping to kind of prevent that, and I just think it really improves the fit. So you still get these really nice sloped and shaped shoulders, but just with a little bit of a better fit in my opinion. Then I did keep the same stitch pattern as in my original design idea, which is this little clover eyelet with some lace in between, which is really simple. And I did actually just see on Instagram that someone made an entire sweater with that. So I do feel like it's a little bit similar now, but it's also not like a super unique stitch type. So that may be the problem as well. But then next to it, I do have a braided cable, which is one of my favorites. And then a little bit of seed stitch, which is also what is underneath the underarm. I'm planning this cardigan to have double knit button bands on the front, probably just like a regular 1x1 ribbed collar, and sleeves with this pattern as well. So it's going to be a little bit more of a straightforward design and cardigan, but I just absolutely love this work in progress right now. The color is also just making me super happy, and I think the finished project is going to be very cute. The yarn is from Drops Design, like when is this not a Drops Design video honestly, but I'm using the Drops Brushed Alpaca Silk held together with the Drops Snort, and they go together just really beautifully. Like you wouldn't expect it when you see these colors side by side, but the fabric that this is creating is absolutely gorgeous. You can see here how it's just making like a really nice sunny yellow color. So I'm super happy with this, and it's also nice, like a really nice lightweight fabric on the 5mm needles, because this is a sport weight yarn, and then the Drops Brushed Alpaca Silk is just like a heavy mohair. So I'm really enjoying the fabric and the feel of it. It's kind of reminding me of the Bambi Bow cardigan, which should be released also in August. And yeah, really enjoying this so far. And I do have another cardigan work in progress, but I'm not sure about it, but I'm just going to show you. So the other cardigan that I was working on actually before I cast on the yellow cardigan is a cream cardigan, but I don't really know how I feel about this design. There's something that I feel like is not right about it. And then also just the entire knitting process is a little bit more involved. And I really like to have knitting patterns that are, well, still involved because I like knitting textures, etc. But that are very easily to memorize. So you just kind of get into a flow of things. Like with the yellow cardigan, you don't really have to look at any charts. It's just very easy. But this one, you definitely do. So this is what it currently looks like. It is a bunch of seed stitch and a bunch of different kind of lace. And I don't know, like something is off for me. This one is shaped a little bit different. You would maybe think that it's the same type of construction, but this one is actually just with German short row shaping. So you cast on like all of these stitches and then you start shaping the shoulders. So we have a little bit like a very subtle angled shoulder here. So I did put the stitches on hold in case I want to pick this project back up, but I'm honestly not so sure at the moment. So definitely do let me know your opinion about this. Like, I don't know. I think it's going to be frogged. But yeah, this was something that I'm technically working on. So this is knit with the Drops Fiesta in, I don't know what color this is. I think it was called Wheat. And it is a really nice, like nice light beige color. And I'm also knitting this on a 4mm needle. So it's a quite nice weight yarn as well. Like a nice finished object is what I'm trying to say. And I would love to have a cardigan in this color because I think I could just wear it with everything. I just don't think maybe this is going to be it. Let me know your thoughts and maybe I will keep going if people really like it. Or maybe I won't. I don't know. Then the next two works in progress are both crochet works in progress in my little handmade project bags as usual. The first one is a pattern from someone else. Again, I'm completely blanking out, like my brain is not working right now. It's also after 6, so that's why my brain I think is malfunctioning. But it's a Sunburst Crochet top, and I will link the pattern below because I think it's only, no, it's also on Ravelry. But I got it from Etsy. But it's a really fun top that is very labor intensive. So I have not really made a lot of progress since I started it. I started this before my trip to London. So this was actually kind of like a vacation project, which maybe is why I'm not really working on it right now because, I don't know. I don't want to say that trip was traumatizing, but traveling for me is not fun. That's what I will say. So here we have actually a finished sleeve. And then you can see here that I've started working on the body. And this is, as you can see, also knit or crocheted like seamlessly. So it's a joint as you go method, which is my first time doing it. It's actually really nice and quite easy. And these sunburst squares are actually also quite nice and easy. Like you don't have to look at the pattern, especially after you've made so many. So I do still need to seam, of course, the bottom then together. But I'm going to wait until the entire sweater is finished. And then I'm going to seam everything together. Right now it is feeling like these sleeves are going to be a little bit short. Like when I put it in front of me, I have like this amount left, like 10 centimeters or something. So I'm not feeling too confident about it, but I do think the finished object is going to be absolutely gorgeous. And I would love to have it finished this summer because I would like to wear it basically. So now that I'm seeing this project again, I do feel like maybe I should pick it back up because it doesn't deserve to be lingering. I'm knitting this, I keep saying knitting, but it's definitely crochet. But I'm crocheting this with a 3mm hook. And then this is some yarn from my local craft store. This is the Panduro yarn, again a cotton 8/4. Definitely maybe like one of the most reversible, not reversible. I don't know. You can do a lot of different things with it. That's what I'm trying to say. Like I mentioned, my brain is not working right now, but it's alright. It's this yarn, and I think this peachy pink color is really beautiful and really gorgeous, and it will go with a lot of different things. Again, I need to make a maxi skirt, and then can you imagine wearing just like a tank top underneath and then having this sweater on top? That would be absolutely stunning, and I need to make it happen. But it's going to take a long time before this is finished. Like I would rather make, well, would I rather? I don't know. It feels like the Persian tiles is an easier project than this, honestly. I don't know why, but that's what it's feeling like right now. And I do have it in my favorite project bag. I don't know, for some reason these colors always make me so incredibly happy. It's very cute. And then my next work in progress is a little bit similar. For some reason it's also pink. And this is a project that doesn't have a pattern. I'm kind of winging it. And I might share a little tutorial about it once it's finished. But we'll have to see how good it is. But this is going to be a project bag. Actually, exactly the same size as this project is living in. So this is my Amy project bag. This is a sewing pattern that I have actually on Etsy. Don't really talk about it very often, but I do have this pattern. And this is the medium size, which I think is a really nice and usable size. Again, I'm thinking of that word, but I cannot come up with the word for some reason. But it's a really nice size. And I'm making basically these crochet granny squares with these little 3D flowers. And then I'm going to basically make a top. So it's going to be like this. Then I'm going to crochet a top to it and a bottom. And I'm going to make that into the shape of my pattern pieces. Then I'm going to put some lining in it that has some fusible batting attached to it. So it's going to be nice and sturdy and stand up on its own like these project bags do. And it's going to be a really fun like crocheted project bag, I think. So I'm going to show you the vision. It's going to be like centered like this. I don't know, for some reason I just think that would be super cute to have like a crocheted project bag like this. So that is something that I'm working on, also with some yarn from my stash, because I honestly just wanted to get it out of stash because the color, it's a little bit too pink for me for a garment, which is what I originally got it for. So this is the Hobby Friends 100% wool, and it's just a DK weight 100% non-superwash wool yarn. And yeah, I just don't think I like this color, and I know you're probably thinking it's the same as the other one, but it's not. I will show you. This is just a little bit more pale, and this one just feels like too bright, like Barbie pink for me for some reason. So that's why I don't want to wear it. And I'm making this with a 4mm crochet hook, which is what the yarn recommends as well. Have not worked on this since because I've been working on my cardigan, but I do think this will be a lovely finished object eventually. So those were all of the knitting and crochet things that I had to show you. And now I only have a bunch of sewing finished objects for you, which there are a lot. Firstly, I did also make a bag, which I also got from Etsy. It's not the best bag, but I used it for traveling. So I'm going to insert a picture of the bag that I made because technically I made that as well. And then after that, I actually made 2 new tops. So I signed up for a pattern test, which I usually don't do because I don't really have the time for it. But this pattern was just too cute not to pattern test this. And this was the Josephina top by Mila Noni Patterns. And it's very Dawn inspired. So I just had to make 2 versions of the top as well. So this was my version 1. Here you can see that it's a really nice like A-line kind of top with this scrunched neckline with a tie in the front. This one has some buttons as well. This top has a lot of different views. I think it has like 12 different views. So this is a view where I decided to add the armhole ruffle, which you can also make it without it, but I just think it's a very cute detail. Also, this floral cotton fabric is just really, really beautiful and very vintage looking in my opinion. And this is actually kind of similar to the Celine top that Silver Saga Patterns just released, which I do also have purchased because I just absolutely fell in love with that pattern as well. And I know that Kate Naughton just released a pattern for the Shoreline Shift, which is also a top or dress that is kind of similar to this with a tie in the front. So I'm kind of wanting to do like an experiment and buy that pattern as well, and then make a dress version of all 3 patterns. So people can kind of compare and see what the differences are and then choose which one they want to get. I think they will all be really great because all of these 3 pattern designers are really good. Like I have tested for Kate Naughton multiple times and also have made Silver Saga patterns multiple times, and I think Milanoni was also really good. But I just think it would be fun to try it because I already have 2 out of the 3 patterns. So if you're interested in something like that, do let me know. Then the second version that I made is a little bit different because the pattern also has a view where you could do a little like elasticated waist, which I have done here, but I added this vintage lace trim to the bottom. This one is also made in a really gorgeous block printed cotton voile, which I just absolutely love a block print fabric. Like, give me a good block print fabric any day and I'm going to be happy with it. And then I also decided to add like this little vintage lace trim to the front where I kind of threaded the ties through it. So this one is actually a little bit more scrunched in the back. So in the original pattern, the back is not supposed to be cinched in. It's supposed to be completely flat like this one. So this one you can completely adjust. But it doesn't really change the fit. I've kept it mostly flat and did like move most of the fabric from the front. So yeah, I'm super happy with these tops and I made just a size 34. They fit pretty true to size, which I'm happy to report because that's very important to me. And yeah, quite happy with them. And I've already worn these 2 tops because they're very cute. Then the next pattern that I got was something that I was waiting for. Like I saw one of my favorite sewing Instagram people, Hannah Olivia, or Hannah. I think her name is Hannah, but I forgot her last name. But her name is Hannah for sure. And she is just the best sewing person to follow on Instagram. And she was pattern testing the Apron pocket shorts by Matchy Matchy Sewing Club. Absolutely fell in love with that pattern. So I decided to immediately basically get it when it was released and sew it up the same day. Yeah, I was that crazy. So the first version that I made, I'm actually wearing right now, which is a pair of gingham shorts. And they are absolutely gorgeous. They also are super comfortable. It's made with a cotton poplin fabric. And I just really like to wear these honestly at home, like lounging around. Then the next version that I made is with a stonewash linen fabric. So it's just a little bit more thicker. And that's also why I feel a little bit more comfortable wearing these ones outside. So those ones I've only worn once outside, whilst the other ones I'm just wearing like every single day. And I've already washed them multiple times as well. This pattern so far has also just been the best fitting pair of shorts that I've ever tried. The perfect length, like the perfect amount of like bagginess, like they're just really good. So these are the stonewash linen pair. And I decided to add this little ruffle to the front. Instead of having the same fabric to be the ruffle, I just made it this like cotton lace. And I just think it's a really fun detail actually. Like they're a little bit crazy, but for some reason I just think they're very cute. So I'm super happy with these. And I think I'm going to make a bunch more because I'm also thinking that when I make them with the cotton poplin fabric again, and for example a top like this could be like a really good PJ set, like perfect PJs, but also something that you can just wear at home, lounging around, or go outside if that's your thing. Really happy with this pattern as well. Like so many great patterns are coming out right now, I feel like. Then the next thing that I made is the Emma dress by Silver Saga Patterns. This is my 3rd time making the Emma dress, but this is my first time making it a long version. So I had this cotton fabric in my stash for quite a while, probably like 3 meters I had. So I decided to finally cut it up and make it this dress. So this is what it looks like from the front. I really like this pattern that it has these white shoulder straps, the ruffles, like a little bit of cinching under the bust, which is just super flattering. And I did add pockets to this one as well, which is really nice. It's just really nice and long and flowy. Absolutely stunning. I think these dresses, like with a little bit of waist shaping like this, really suit my personal body type and they just feel very comfortable to me. And the first version that I made was a mini dress, and then I also have this pattern made as a top. So I'm happy to now have a long version of the pattern as well. And still, despite making it 3 times, I do see myself making it again because it's just a great pattern. And I really cannot say anything more about it. It's just absolutely stunning. And I do think it's a relatively quick make. Like I made this in 4 hours, which I think is pretty reasonable. That is one thing that I made as well. And then I hope you're not sick of me just yet, because I made one more thing. And this is a dress again, but this is one of the most stunning things that I've ever sewn up for myself. Like I love this maybe a little bit too much. Basically, Golden Sky Patterns, she has a pattern called a Rosarine blouse or dress. And I tested that I think a few months ago. Then she shared on her Instagram someone that made a patchwork version, which I will put that on the screen because that's the person that I got this idea from. And I just thought it was absolutely stunning. So basically, as soon as I saw that picture, I was like, yes, I need to make that like right now. I need to cancel all of my plans and start making this dress ASAP. And that's exactly what I did. So I cut up the fabric in the evening, started patchworking everything. And then the next day I sewed everything up. And usually a sewing project for me will be one like entire evening or just one entire afternoon, etc. But this was divided in 2 because it's a little bit more labor intensive. So let me just show you. It is absolutely stunning. You cannot say it's not stunning. It is. I just think it's gorgeous. So here you can see that I've just patchworked a bunch of different fabrics for my fabric stash. I'm also kind of trying to make more patchwork things in general because I'm kind of trying to go through my huge fabric collection. And most of my fabric collection I feel is also cotton. So I think it just works really well for a pattern like this. And some of these, or most of these, are also from a quilt pattern that I'm currently doing, which is not really working out the way that it should. But this is a nice reminder of how special and beautiful those fabrics are. And to kind of make this dress a little bit more cohesive with like all of these crazy fabric things that it has going on, I decided to make the sleeves into the same fabric, which is a cotton broidery kind of fabric. It's a very subtle type of broidery. It's not like your traditional broidery fabric, basically. And then also with these bias binding, that is the same color. And then the ties are made in this fabric as well. And then I do have the cutest floral buttons in the front here, which I just think is adorable. And I'm so happy with this dress. I don't really know how to describe it, but when I wear this dress, I just feel like myself for some reason. Like this just feels very true to my personality and my style. And I just think it's beautiful. I will also show you the back. It's a little bit different. So you can see here like all of the different fabrics. Also this color palette in general is kind of what I have been feeling like probably the past 2 months. Like light blue, light pink. All of these colors are really screaming my name right now, and I just think they go together very beautifully. And I also have some Fabulism fabrics in here as well, which just makes this ultra special. So this one, for example, is a Fabulism fabric, and then this one as well. And those fabrics are very expensive. So it's nice to be able to use them here combined with other fabrics to, you know, still get to enjoy them without having to buy a lot of it to get a full project out of it. So those were all of the things that I've sewn these past like 6 weeks or something. I definitely still have so many sewing things that are on my wish list, and I do have a lot of fabric that I've purchased, like a crazy amount of fabric, honestly. Even though I just said that I'm trying to reduce my fabric stash, I got a lot more fabrics. And I don't know if people are really interested in me showing like yarn that I buy or fabrics that I buy. I usually don't really show you, and I just show you when I'm working on something or when it's finished. But if you're interested in a haul, then I could do a haul because I have a lot of fabrics, and I also got some yarn recently because I went to a huge yarn store whilst I was on the trip with my boyfriend and got a lot of yarn there as well. And it was actually my first time seeing all of the drops yarn in real life, which was just so much fun to finally be able to like look at all of their yarn bases and their entire color ranges. And of course I had to buy a few things. So, and I was also gifted some yarn by Long Yarns. I'm now collaborating with them in the future for some designs, which is just the most exciting thing. So I am going to quickly grab that yarn because it's too special to not show you as well. They gifted me some other yarn as well, but this yarn is too good and too special. And I've been procrastinating starting a design with this because this yarn is so special and so beautiful that I feel like it needs to be absolutely perfect and like the most beautiful thing that I've ever made. So yeah, the stakes are very low. A box full of the Long Yarns cashmere. Are you seeing this? This is what dreams are made of, basically. And yeah, I don't even know what to say. It's going to be hopefully very beautiful. I decided again, for some reason, to go with a light pink color. I think this is one of the colors that I'm currently obsessing over, like I said. But I decided to go with this color because it's a color that is still a little bit neutral, because I just didn't want to do like a beige or white or gray. So that's why I decided to go with this color. And yeah, hopefully it's going to be really nice. I'm planning on designing a cardigan with this. Probably after I finish the yellow cardigan. Definitely stay tuned for what I'm going to be making with this. And also a huge thank you to Long Yarns. I don't know if they're watching this video because I think they mostly see my things on Instagram. But if they are, then thank you. I think those were all of the things that I wanted to share with you for today's video. I know sometimes I also talk about the books that I've been reading, but I've been going through a huge reading slump and honestly starting a lot of books and then quitting them halfway, which is not good. So I have not really finished any books either. But I did, of course, as you can see, finish a bunch of knitting, crochet and sewing things. So there's not a lack of creativity going around, luckily. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. It's pretty crazy. I actually now have 7,000 subscribers, which is just, yeah, really crazy to think of, especially because I've been posting a lot less than I usually would, or that I honestly would like to, but I just don't have the time or honestly the ideas to still make a video every single week. So to really see my channel still growing and to see people subscribing just means the world to me, and I'm really thankful for that. So yeah, I really hope to see you in my next video. For now, I wish you all a very happy day, happy knitting, and I will see you then. Bye bye!